Christmas, definitely my favorite time of the year. It's cold outside, but the house is warm. And it gives most a sort of nostalgia from when they were a child. But one thing Christmas reminds me of the most now is that it's not actually related to the birth of Christ, or that Santa Claus may be based off of a Catholic saint.
Finally, on this special night, with millions around the world taking time off to celebrate Christmas, one man is just going to work. Good old Saint Nick.
And this whole religion's connection to the cult of Saturn.
This is how the festival of St. Nicholas, from whose name our Santa Claus is derived, is celebrated in the village of Lienz, Austria.
There's a lot I'm going to be covering today, guys. A comprehensive story on the lore surrounding Christmas and the many faces belonging to Mr. Christmas himself, or Saint Nick. Thanks for joining me today, guys, and let's begin. Christmas, as a whole today, is seen as the birthday of Jesus Christ, and for the most part, is celebrated as such. Well, according to some scholars and researchers, if Jesus was born outside in a manger, it would have been too cold around that time of year. Some speculate. Some researchers put the date of Jesus in October, while others put it back a little bit further. According to a book by an author named Anthony Ray, on September 11th, 3 BC, sunset was at 6:18 p.m. and moonset at 7:39 p.m. And it was during this time that they're speculating that Jesus Christ was actually born in Bethlehem of Judea.
Lady, I believe your son is the promised king of his people. What is his name?
Jesus. His name is Jesus.
But aside from the speculation of Jesus' day of birth, Christmas is apparently an ancient festival from a pagan tradition that existed and was pretty much absorbed into the Christian faith when Rome turned to the religion of Christ. Saturnalia was the name of this ancient Roman festival that was dedicated to the god Saturn, celebrated from December 17th to the 23rd of December, with festivities extended to December 25th as well. It held deep agricultural and symbolic significance in Roman culture, honoring Saturn, the god of agriculture, abundance, and renewal. During this festival, Romans indulged in grand feasts featuring roast meats, sweets, and delicacies, creating a sense of abundance. The festival was known for these joyous festivities, and also known for temporarily blurring social hierarchies, allowing slaves to enjoy freedom and fostering unity through laughter, singing, and games. The celebrations extended beyond households, with communities and cities participating in public events and gatherings. Enhancing the festive atmosphere, Saturnalia also held symbolic importance, representing the return of light and hope during the winter season, symbolized by the use of greenery and decorations. Even the god Saturn himself has striking similarities between him and our modern day Santa Claus. The beard, the gift giving, and abundance during the winter solstice, and even their mode of transportation, a sled or chariot being pulled through the skies, is too similar. These can be interpreted as a direct correlation between the god Saturn and Santa Claus. So in summary, Saturnalia was a cherished Roman festival marked by grand feasts, joyous festivities, social bonding, and symbolic significance. It was supposed to embody the spirit of abundance and renewal during the winter months.
One side of the table is always left open with no couch there so that the food could be brought in there.
And one of the dishes that we're eating was invented by the Romans, and it's still a top favourite today. It's an hors d'oeuvre. It's got all sorts of different bits and pieces in it. There's eggs and sardines and black olives and green olives.
There seems to be a lot more going on with these worshippers of Saturn. It seems the cult of Saturn may be at the core for many of the most powerful secret organizations in the world. It's rumored that many of the leaders and senators of Rome practice this tradition, and by completely merging with the Christian faith, it's apparently been able to hide its own traditions within the Christian traditions, originating damn near all of their traditions, to be honest.
What an auspicious day. Many gave their lives that we might stand here once again, united in the government of a lawful republic.
This is how the festival of St. Nicholas, from whose name our Santa Claus is derived, is celebrated in the village of Lienz, Austria. We see St. Nicholas in mitre and robes, attended by a number of devils in masks made at home, calling at a cottage.
Now, many people attribute the origins of Santa Claus to Saint Nicholas, also known as Nicholas of Myra. He was born around the year 270 AD in the ancient town of Patara, which is part of modern-day Turkey. He was born into a wealthy family, and from a young age, he displayed a strong devotion to Christianity. His parents, who were devout Christians, passed away when he was still a young man, leaving him with a substantial inheritance. Nicholas decided to follow the teachings of Jesus and devoted his life to helping the less fortunate. He became known for his extraordinary acts of kindness and generosity. One of the most famous stories illustrating his generosity is the tale of the poor man with 3 daughters. In this story, there was a poor man who had 3 daughters, but could not afford to provide them with dowries, which meant they would likely remain unmarried and face a life of poverty. Nicholas, hearing of their plight, decided to get help. Under the cover of darkness, he secretly delivered bags of gold coins to the man's house, providing a dowry for each daughter. This act of kindness saved the girls from a life of despair and helped to ensure their future. Another notable legend tells of Nicholas calming a violent storm at sea, saving the lives of sailors. He was said to have appeared on a ship during a fierce storm, and through his prayers, calmed the turbulent waters, leading the sailors to safety. Now, this miraculous event earned him the title of the patron saint of sailors. These stories of his miraculous acts of kindness spread far and wide, making him a beloved figure in Christian tradition. Nicholas's reputation as a protector of the vulnerable and a champion of generosity laid the foundation for his later transformation into the figure we know today as Santa Claus. And during the Middle Ages, St. Nicholas's veneration continued to grow, and his feast day, celebrated on December 6th, became an important holiday in many parts of Europe. In the Netherlands, he was particularly popular and was known as Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas!
Everybody knows Santa's real name is Saint Nick, but you may be surprised to learn the real Saint Nicholas was born here, in what is now the town of Demre in southern Turkey, almost 1,800 years ago. His present-day successor, Bishop Chrysostomos, is revered here too. Once a year, he holds Mass in the church where his famous predecessor was buried.
Dutch settlers brought the traditions of Santa Claus with them when they came to America in the 17th century. Over time, the name Santa Claus gradually evolved into Santa Claus in English. One pivotal moment in Santa Claus's evolution was the publication of Clement Clarke Moore's 1823 poem titled A Visit from St. Nicholas, which is commonly known as The Night Before Christmas. This poem introduced many elements associated with Santa Claus, including the idea of a round, jolly man who delivers gifts to children on Christmas Eve, guided by reindeer and visiting via a chimney. Now, aside from Saint Nick, there are many other saints that seem to have contributed to the legend of Santa Claus as well. But Saint Nick is definitely the most prominent. Now, as Christianity spread across Europe, the church sought to incorporate and adapt existing pagan traditions into Christian holidays. Krampus, with his association with the winter solstice, was assimilated into a celebration of St. Nicholas' feast day on December 6th. Krampus is often portrayed as a fearsome beast, a demonic figure with characteristics of goats and devils. Horns, dark fur, fangs, and a long tongue. He carries chains, thought to symbolize the binding of demons by the Christian church, and a bundle of bird branches to swat misbehaving children. His appearance is completely designed to strike fear into the hearts of misbehaving children and serve as a warning against wickedness. One of the most distinctive elements of Krampus' appearance is the chains that he carries. These chains are believed to symbolize the binding of demons by the Christian church. Krampus is often portrayed dragging chains to create a menacing sound, signifying the arrival of punishment for those who have been naughty. And in addition to these chains, Krampus wields a bundle of birch branches known as the Ruten, or Krampusil. These branches are used to swat misbehaving children and serve as a symbolic form of punishment. The idea is that while St. Nicholas rewards good children with gifts, Krampus deals with the naughty ones, ensuring a balance between reward and punishment during the Christmas season. Krampusnacht, celebrated on December 5th, is a night filled with fright and fun. In Alpine regions, it's common to see parades where people dress as Krampus, scaring spectators and reenacting the ancient folklore. These events, known as Krampuslauf, are a blend of pagan traditions and Christian elements, creating a unique cultural phenomenon. One of the most striking features of Krampusnacht is the Krampuslauf, which translates to Krampus Run. In these parades, individuals often dress as Krampus or other frightening creatures roam the streets to both entertain and frighten spectators. They wear elaborate costumes complete with masks, fur, and horned headpieces, creating a visually striking and intimidating display. So Krampus definitely plays a vital role in the Christmas tradition as a counterpart to St. Nicholas. While St. Nicholas rewards the well-behaved with gifts, Krampus deals with the naughty ones, providing a balance between reward and punishment. I want to do a video later on the actual helpers of Santa Claus. I feel it'll be a more interesting video by itself. But St. Nicholas and Krampus symbolizes the contrasting elements of human nature in the holiday season. St. Nick obviously represents light, hope, and generosity, rewarding good deeds and encouraging kindness. Now Krampus, on the other hand, embodies darkness, fear, and retribution. A complete opposite, a stark reminder of the consequences of bad behavior. Together though, they create a balance, reflecting the nature of human experiences and beliefs. The Santa Claus we know today made his first appearance in a 2-minute film special. In 1898, British filmmaker George Albert Smith directed a film that would become a cinematic first, featuring actors Laura Bailey, Harold Smith, and Dorothy Smith. This silent drama was more than a mere movie. Released in the September of 1898, this 1-minute and 16-second film was not just the first to feature Santa Claus, but it was also a technical marvel. George Albert Smith utilized pioneering techniques like parallel action and double exposure. The plot? Simple yet magical. 2 children are tucked into bed by their maid, and as they sleep, Santa Claus enters through the fireplace, trims the tree, fills stockings, and then vanishes back up the chimney. Audiences of the time were left in awe. How did Santa disappear was one of the many questions that they had. So this film not only captured the magic of Christmas, but also the wonder of early cinema. So the next time you're watching a Christmas movie, try to remember the 1898 film Santa Claus, a pioneer that paved the way for a century of Christmas storytelling. The movies throughout the years have really developed the character even more since then, including his lore and the North Pole. Man, to think that the Roman Senate could pull this off and just merge their holiday with the birth of Christ, even though the weather and times apparently do not match with Jesus being born in the winter. How did they pull this off? Let me know if you guys want me to do a video on the cult of Saturn as well. I'll definitely get right on that. And in the next video, I'm going to be looking into how Santa's helpers are nothing to how we view them today, which is why I left them out of this video. So thanks for staying this long in the video, guys. Please like and subscribe, and be safe, everyone.
Having no child of his own, would love all children everywhere, and that he himself would be an artisan and a craftsman and a skilled maker of toys. And henceforth, you will be called Santa Claus. And now, everyone, Merry Christmas. Merry